Waking up early in the morning, walking, journaling, meditating, eating healthy, working out, logging your daily expenses, drinking enough water, and so on. We always think that we need to build good habits in our life. Well, it actually doesn't happen for us. At least with me, I have been meaning to build a couple of good habits in my life for years now, but somehow some really didn't happen. Hey, hi, this is Anagha and welcome to my YouTube. Today, I will share with you how I really finally ended up building a couple of good habits. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below as to what habit are you trying to build in the next few months. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe and don't forget to click the bell icon. With that, let's get started. So it all started towards the end of June when I realized that I have been meaning to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning for about 2 years now. Not a month, not a week, for an entire 2 years, I have been planning that I want to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. But it somehow didn't happen. Probably I woke up a day, probably I woke up 2 days, but then I ended up procrastinating on implementing, and then poof, it's back to 7 a.m. or 7:30. Had I started really making efforts into building this habit, I would have woken up at 6 a.m. for an entire 2 years. But also, for the last 1 year, I have been gratitude journaling and I haven't really missed even a single day. So it's in my habit, it's in my routine. So I started thinking, why? Why wasn't I able to build one habit as opposed to why was I able to build one habit so easily? And finally, I got my answer. And the answer is that one habit that I really wanted to build, I implemented it, and the other habit that I wanted to build was only in my head. And that is when I decided now is the time I really need to finally implement and make an action towards building these habits. So here is what I did in the entire July and what I intend to do for the next 3 to 6 months so that I have many good habits built and made up as a lifestyle in my life. Step 1 is to practically plan the habits that you want to build. Don't plan 12 different things that you want to really build in your life at once, and don't overwhelm yourself so much that you end up doing them for 2 days and then poof, it's gone, right? I suggest picking up 3 to 6 small habits and trying to inculcate them, making an effort to really bring them into your life first, and then move on to the next couple of habits that you would want to build. So for the month of July, I worked on building 5 new habits. Top 1 being waking up at 6 in the morning, walking for at least 20 minutes a day, journaling, trying to start meditation, and intermittent fasting. Step 2 is to add it to your routine and schedule. For example, I had to build the habit of journaling every single day, right? So now I had to make time in my day for this habit, because if I only think about journaling all day long, it's not going to happen. So my plan was, first I decided when I would want to journal. So I thought I wanted to journal in the morning because nights are usually tiring and I don't want to do extensive things like that. So what I decided to do is 9 or 9:30 a.m. is when I start my work. So I decided that 8:45 I would be on my table to pick up like 15 to 20 minutes of my time before I start work to really journal and to pen down what I'm really feeling. In fact, the habits that I was trying to build in July was quite interrelated and interconnected that way with respect to routine and schedule, because I would wake up in the morning and then I would have an entire hour. So 6 to 7:30 is what I decided to have to make time for all of these habits except for journaling, which was walking for 20 minutes and meditating. So basically, you need to really allot time for these habits that you are planning to build. Step 3 is to add it to your habit tracker. For a very long time, I used to feel that habit trackers are overrated. Like, what is the point in ticking? It just didn't make sense to me. But finally, when I was really making the effort of building these habits, I thought, like, why not give it a try? And oh my God, ever since I started tracking my habits, 2 massive changes happened. First one is that before tracking my habits, if I would skip a habit for 2 days consecutively, I would feel that there's no point in continuing in it anymore and it's over. I used to think that I have to restart it and I have to it's not really continuation. As opposed to when I started tracking my my habits, I realized that, okay, there are 2 blanks, but there are 4 or 5 ticks that I've already done. So 2 blanks, now I can really continue. It was a small pause that I got, but I'm going to only continue it. That's the kind of mindset shift that happened. And the second change that happened with the habit tracker is that towards the end of the month, I could really analyze how many days have I really worked on building my habit. I could see my progress and really see what was going wrong and what was going right. Habit trackers can be done on a physical planner or a digital planner. I obviously have my habit tracker on my Notion. I am leaving a link down below in the description box for you to duplicate this tracker. It's very basic, it's very simple, but if you are planning to track any habits on Notion, then it might be of use for you. Step 4 is to really get your mind prepared. Stop looking for motivation, because motivation is an outside source, whereas determination, it's in your hands. You really can't depend on an outside source like motivation to change your lifestyle. Try to surround yourselves with things that would actually push yourself to follow your habit, but don't really depend on this motivation. For example, when I had to wake up at 6 a.m. every single day, I thought that I had to sleep by 11 p.m. for sure. And the other thing that I had to do was, the moment the alarm rang and I woke up, I had to make an active decision about getting off the bed. I would tell myself that if I'm running low on sleep, I can catch it up during the day, taking a nap during the day. But at the moment, I'm just going to get up. So that's the kind of preparation I did for my mind. And for this month, the month of August, I'm trying to build the healthy eating habit. So for this, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to watch food content a little lesser, so as to not tempt me into ordering something online or just eating a bag of chips or whatever that is. So try to prep your surroundings in such a way that they're pro to your building the habit and not against. Step 5 is to not stop because you missed a day or 2. So every day is not the same. Neither will the situation be the same, nor will your mindset be the same. And even when you have your habit built so well, there might be situations that you have to skip a day or 2. For example, I am somebody that really likes to shower every morning. Once my me time is done, once the cleaning of the house is done, I want to shower and then get to work or anything of that sort. But there are days that I have skipped my bath in the morning. So similarly, even if you've built your habit, there are chances that you miss it a day or 2. So while you're building your habit, don't stress about doing it every single day. Give yourself a break when you need. Don't procrastinate unnecessarily. But if you have missed a day or 2, don't think that you have to restart building the habit from the next Monday or from the next, month. Just continue doing it just like nothing happened. Last, I have a pro tip. It's not step 6, it's just a pro tip wherein I'd like to say that if something doesn't work for you, again, be kind to yourself and stop doing it. So, for example, I wanted to start intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically when you fast for a few hours a day and eat only during a couple of hours in the day. There are several variations of intermittent fasting. I'm going to leave a link below to intermittent fasting and details of intermittent fasting in the description box below. If you're interested, do check it out. But to give you a gist of everything, it's basically when you fast for 15 to 16 hours a day and eat in the rest 8-9 hours in the day. I used to do intermittent fasting back in college, and even about 2 years ago, if my last meal would be at 6:30 p.m., then my next meal will be at 9:30 a.m. So that's from 6:30 to 9:30 is when I would be fasting. I wouldn't eat anything, but I have the permission to drink water. That was what I used to do before, and I kind of stopped doing it. But I know that, of course, it works for few people and it doesn't work for few. So since I really liked and it made me feel light and happy, I thought I'd start rebuilding that habit. But this time, I don't know what happened. Since hunger triggers my migraine, within the first 3 days of intermittent fasting, I started feeling uneasy. And of course, I know that intermittent fasting is a bit hard in the first week, but I didn't feel like continuing continuing it, it felt really difficult, and that's why I decided to give it a quit for this month. I might get back to it, or I might not really get back to it, depending on how I feel about a month or two later. So yeah, in the month of July, I decided to build 5 habits, but I dropped one because I didn't want to force myself too much into the things that I wasn't comfortable with. So here is a summary of how much I followed my habits in the month of July. I woke up at 6 a.m. for about 19 days. There was a week of no-show because I went to my parents' house in Bangalore and it was just so lazy. I just couldn't make it. And Bangalore's weather is so cold and cozy and it was raining and just didn't make it. I just didn't feel like waking up. That was a huge boo, but the rest of the days look really good. Whereas walk, of course, the number of days checked is 23. So there were a couple of days that I didn't go for a walk, but majorly it worked pretty well for me. Journaling I did for 25 days and it's pretty decent because there were only a couple of days that I missed. But the sad part was meditate I only could do for 11 days. I don't know, I just didn't, specifically because I was traveling to Bangalore and I was just not in the zone. Maybe that could be one of the reasons. But yeah, that is, according to me, is bad. While even starting to build these habits, I had decided that 20 plus is a good sign. So of course, everything else is 20 plus. Of course, waking up in the morning is 19, so very close. So that is all about July. That's how my July went. And for the month of August, these are the habits that I'm working on implementing and building in my routine. Waking up at 6 a.m., walking and meditating comes from the previous month. I'm dropping journaling for August because I would journal once in a while. Whenever I feel like, I'll definitely journal, but it's not a habit that I want to track and build. I want to journal when I feel like. I think that's a better approach towards journaling. But the two other things that I am going to do is I'm reading a book every single day. So I'm planning to finish one book this month. The other habit that I'm building is basically eating healthy plus working out. So Born Happy is the app that I'm using. In this app, first you got to put up all your basic details, your weight, your height, and your aspirational weight, and all of those things. And then every single day you log your meal, you log your workout that you've done. It collects the number of steps you've walked with from Google Fit, and ultimately it gives you a score for the day. And according to the app, 8 plus is a good score to have, but according to me, 7 plus is a decent, because I'm not aiming to be extra stubborn with my body. So 7 plus is the score that I want to attain every single day. So that's the habit that I'm planning to build. Of course, it's not a simple habit. It entails a lot of things, but that is something that I'm aiming to build this month. That's it. And let me know in the comment section below if this video actually helped you. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, because it helps with YouTube algorithm and this video gets pushed to people like you who might be interested in this video. And thank you so much for watching till the end. Until next time, bye bye.